Hello, my amazing artists. Today we're going to make or draw Romero Britto inspired self-portraits. You're going to need a white square piece of paper because we're going to use these for square one art, a face template to trace, a pencil, and eventually a Sharpie and possibly an eraser. So first what we're going to do is we're going to take the face template and we are going to place it on our paper. Now we have to think about the composition. If you're a girl, you might want to put your template in the middle of the page because you're going to draw some hair that's kind of going up above your head. But however, if you're a boy, you might want to raise your face template and put it a little bit closer to the top of the page because your hair won't be quite so fluffy probably and will stop around your ears. However, you will see more of your shoulders and less of the background. So you just need to think about your composition. Now, when you put the face template down, you're going to want to angle it just a tiny bit. This adds some interest to your drawing and to your self-portrait and makes it a little bit more like your head is cocked, like you would in a real self-portrait or a photograph. Now, I think most of you guys can see this. However, I am going to go ahead and trace mine out in Sharpie so that you can see it really well for those in the back. But you are going to draw everything lightly until you're done and then go over it in Sharpie. And I did leave some spots just so that it's not overlapping. You can do that. Now, when we draw lightly, I want you to take your pencil and kind of rub it on your hand and do lightly. You don't want to do it hard because that hurts, but just think about lightly drawing. I'm going to lightly draw a register mark or a line down my face so that I can see the middle of my face. And I'm going to draw another line across my face. Remember, I cocked it a little bit, so if I want, I can make my lines just a little bit at an angle. And this is going to be my eye line. Yes, the eyes are in the middle of your face. I know, I'm blowing your mind. You probably remember me talking about this. Then we're going to draw the eyes. Now, the eyes are the same width apart as they are wide. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to use my thumb as, or maybe this finger, because I can see, okay, there's room from the middle of my face, but there's also room from the end of my face. And this is going to be the width of my eye. Then I'm going to take that finger width and I'm going to draw another tick line. That's where the other inside of my eye is going to start, and that is where my eye is going to finish. So now you can see I've divided it into 1, 2, 3 equal spaces with a little space on either side, and that's going to be my eyes. Now the eyes are kind of football shaped, so I'm going to start by going up. Remember, I'm still drawing lightly. If I don't think the shape is good, then I'll go over it a few times. And then the bottom is also going to be a curve. So like a rainbow and a smiley face. And I'm going to try to get them about the same size. If one is a little bit smaller, then I'll work with it until I get it about the same size. And then I'm going to draw the iris of the eye. Remember, it's kind of like a U. You're not going to see the tops of the eyes. You don't want crazy eyes. And I'm going to draw the pupil. Now the pupil is actually what you see with. And then of course I always like to add a little bit of a twinkle. I'm going to make a little bubble so that I remember to keep that a little bit lighter or white. Now I also can add a little bit of an eyelid. Now the eyelid is what opens and closes on your eye. So see what I did? It's about the same shape as the top of my eye, but a little bit higher, and it's going to go down and meet at the corner of my eye. I'm going to do that on both sides because my face is symmetrical, which means it's the same on both sides. Now, everybody has them. You don't like to think about it if you're a boy possibly, but If you want to, you don't have to. You can draw some eyelashes on your eyes. And they're just a little bit of hair coming out from the eyelid. Boys, if you don't want to draw this, you don't have to. Girls, don't go crazy. We don't want Minnie Mouse eyes. And then you might even draw a little bit at the bottom of your eye. Also on your eyes, you are going to have eyebrows. So now the eyebrow is going to line up with the inside of your eye. So I'm going to draw a little line there and a little line here from the inside of my eye. And they also mimic the shape of your eye. So it's just going to be this arch like that. Again, if I don't like it, I'm drawing light, and I'm going to go over this with Sharpie at the end. Now, Romero Britto kind of has a cartoonish style. So for my nose, I'm going to, you know how your nose goes up, I'm going to start at the top of my eyebrow. First, actually, between this line, the middle line, and the chin, I'm going to draw a little line. This is going to be the bottom of my nose. So I could say, okay, this is, try to figure out where the middle is and draw my line. So everybody do that. That's the bottom of your nose. Then you're going to draw a line from the top of the eyebrow down and around. And this is the bridge of your nose. You wouldn't always see that, but for our Romero Britto portraits, we're going to. And then I'm going to draw the other nostril of my nose. Then between the middle or the bottom of the nose and the chin, halfway is the bottom of my lip. Now I want to be smiling. So I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit of a shallow smile line. And the lips tend to end about the inside of your eye or the inside of your iris. So I might go ahead and draw a light line because I'm going to erase it if I don't want to keep it. And then I'm going to draw another line. This is my mouth a little bit open. And I'm going to start drawing my lips. Now the bottom lip's pretty easy. It's just another line. And I'm not going to make it too thick. And then for the top lip, I always like to add a little bit of a V. Maybe a little bit of a bubble right here. Smiley face for my lips. And then go out for my lips. So like that. And then this is my mouth. Then I might show some teeth if I want, or just keep it open. So everybody can draw their lips. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to draw that Romero Britto style face. So I want to have two sides of color. This side, so to divide the bottom half, I'm going to do a little bit of a backward C curve between the nose and the lips, and then a C the right way, but just ever so slightly for the chin. And then I'm going to maybe continue this eyebrow line. Now Romero Britto has shapes on the faces on the cheeks. Now you don't have to do this, but you can. So I'm going to add a circle and maybe a heart. You could add a star or a baseball, whatever you want. Now for the ears. Everybody has them. So go ahead and draw them. Just don't go crazy. The ears go between the bottom of the nose and the top of the eyebrow. You're going to make just a little bit of a backward C, and they hug the head because they are going back against the head. We don't see very much of them. We just see a little bit of the top of the ear, the backside, and the earlobe. Now for the hair. I will give you guys lots of ideas on hair for a girl, since I am drawing me, I'm going to draw my part. And then again, this is kind of a cartoonish version of our hair and of our face. So I'm going to just draw not threads of hair, but I'm going to draw the shape of my hair. So it's going to go down, and my hair goes down and around like this. And I'm going to stop because I forgot to draw my neck. So my neck is going to go about even with the middle of my eye and down, the middle with this eye and down, and I'm going to have a neckline and shoulders. Now the shoulders are not going to go out much past my head. Well, maybe a little bit. They're going to kind of go down and then drop off the page. Down and drop off the page. Again, I might play with that line until I get it the way I want. I'm going to finish my hair and then do it the other way. I'm going to go around my head and then back. And then, oh, looks kind of funny, so I have to finish this top part of my hair. Now I might draw some more lines. I've already got a Sharpie line, so I might go with that for my hair. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and outline the lines that we want to keep with Sharpie. I do it slowly like this. And if I have lines that I accidentally drew that I don't want to keep, I can make something else out of them. We're going to add designs to our face and to our self-portraits, so I can make it part of my design. Okay, for my neck, I like to do the outlines first and then go back in and do detail. Now when I do detail, I'm going to do the tip of my marker. Okay, once I've outlined my face, I am going to go back in and I'm going to add designs like Romero Britto did. So I might start with zigzags. I might do some polka dots. I might do some regular lines. Like I said, I had already started with outlining my face and head, so I am going to try to incorporate that into my drawing. Instead of having to erase it all completely, I'm just going to work it in. I forgot this line. Okay, now that I have all my lines traced over that I'm going to keep, I'm going to erase the lines that I was using just for my drawing, the ones that I drew lightly. Now, while I'm erasing, I'm going to be very careful to hold down the paper with the hand that does not draw while I erase, because we've all done it where we're erasing so fast that our paper rips or it bends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it very carefully, probably as close as I can to where I'm erasing, just so that it won't mess up my paper. And I'm going to erase all the lines that I do not want. It's good to just even over those black lines where I didn't quite go over it exactly where I wanted it. Go over it with the eraser, and then once I have all my lines drawn, I'm going to give it a light brush, or go take it to the trash can and brush it off. And there's my drawing. Now, I'm still not done. I'm going to divide my paper into sections. I'm just going to go from the top of my head out, not into too many sections, but into a few. Now, Romero Britto will use this as an opportunity to add more texture and patterns to his drawings. And after I have sectioned off my paper, I'm going to draw patterns that have to do, oh, I missed a spot, have to do with things that are important to me. So I'm an art teacher, so I might have some paint splatters all around, and they don't have to be perfect, but I'm going to want some going off the page, and little ones and big ones like this. If they go off the page, then my eye knows that the pattern is still going. I like music, so I might add some music notes to my my patterns, like that. Then things that are kind of large and open that I can go back and color. Might do a nice treble clef and another music note. Maybe I can even make those flags. I love my family, so maybe I'll do some hearts, and I love to do upside down hearts too. Just symbols that you like. And probably this one again. Again, I'm going to try to have things go stop so that they look like it's still going. And then this one might just be lines of color. I could go back in and add some patterns to them if I want. I don't want it to be too busy because I want my face to really stand out. And then I might even add something to my shirt, like, I don't know, we'll do polka dots again. It's okay to repeat patterns, just try to have some variety. Okay? Now that we're done drawing our portrait, we are going to color it. We're going to be using a special crayon and color pencils. These color pencils and crayons have a few different flesh tones. For me, mine are going to be a little bit lighter, but you're going to want to test out anything that you think you want to use on your face before you use it on your face. There's nothing worse than finding out that a color that you thought would work is way too dark for your face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a test piece of paper, and I'm going to lightly color. I'm going to color using different pressures, actually, light, and then a little bit more heavy, and then I can even try even heavier to see the kind of colors that it's going to give me. Now for this color, I'll do the same thing, kind of light, medium, and heavy. And just see which kind of color I think will fit my face. Now, I can go with a classic Romero Britto look where one side of my face is white, and then one side of my face is colored. Now, if I'm going to do that, then the shadow side is always going to be a little bit darker. Even if I color this a flesh tone, and I want this side to be a little bit darker. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this color, and I'm just going to color kind of lightly. And I'm going to go in the same direction. I'm going to take my time. I can always go back over it and color it darker if I want. But you know, it's hard to take color pencil off. You can't really erase it, even though it's called a pencil. So I'm going to color it evenly around the space and in the same direction. And I can always go back and change directions a little bit around the edge if I need help getting that. Now, if I know that I'm gonna have a little bit more shadow on the side of my nose and where my lip is, and then on the side of my chin. So I'm gonna go back and add a little bit more shadow there. Might even have a little bit under my eyes. Now you have to be careful with this. You don't want to have raccoon eyes. But my eyes are going to be a little bit darker around because they are sunk in. Okay, so that's going to start to give me some form. So even though Romero Britto uses flat color, it is nice to have a little bit of dimension. Now I can leave the side white, or I can go back and add a little bit of color. Then I will go and add some different colors on my face. Maybe this heart is pink, and this is a different color, like a red, possibly, like that. And I'll color my eyes. So my eyes are green. So I'm gonna test this green before I use it on my eyes. Ooh, that's very bright. Maybe, ooh, this is a little bit darker. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a little bit of this dark green. Then I have some brown in my eyes too. So I'm going to add a little bit of brown, maybe that one. Gives it some dimension. But you notice I color everything and I color it about evenly. Now lips, don't give yourself lipstick. Your lips are really just a darker color of your skin. Now this is kind of orange, so I can't find the color that I really like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some. I'm going to start with this color, which was the color that I colored my face. And then I'm going to go back in and add a little bit of pink. I'm going to color very lightly. Or I could add a little bit of this orangey brown color. And I can just layer until I've got it the way I think I want it. Maybe I need a little bit more pink. There we go. Okay. Now for hair, I have very light hair, but it's not necessarily yellow. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of yellow and a little bit of this brown tan color. So your eyebrows are always a little bit darker, but I'm going to add a little bit of blonde to them and then go back in with a darker brown or a tan. Once you have that, you can start coloring other parts of your face. Now, if your hair is mostly brown, you're going to want to stick to browns, but you might do a darker brown this way and a lighter brown this way. So they're both browns. It's going to look sort of normal, but a little bit different, like that. Did you notice the lighter color is on the top? I'd like to say I planned it like that, but maybe I didn't. It just happened that way. But my hair is lighter on top, so I'm going to color that back and forth like this. Now we're going to have to share colored pencils, so we're going to be patient with each other and use our words. And then hopefully this is going to take different amounts of time for different people so that it won't be so hard. Okay.